Oh, please. Everybody. Hi, Billy. Oh. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming, and good day. Good day. We've had the opportunity to have lots of good days here recently, and this is another good one. We're going to be able to give away money today, and or at least make recommendations of giving away money. And so that's always good to do additional projects in West Virginia. Now, we've got some great people with us here today. Of course, I know y'all know Brother Caperton and General Hoyer and Brother Smith over here, and Chelsea Ruby would love to be here, but she's sick today. So, you know, she'll be all right. I hope she'll recover and be back with us soon. But I know we've got some great delegates here, and I have seen Rodney, but I haven't seen Delegate Lane. Where's she? Oh, good. Okay. And Eric is here, and Delegate Nelson and Delegate Miller. Let me see. I think we've got Senator Swope. There he is, sir. Okay, and we've got Senator Jeffries. How you doing, Glenn? That's good to see you. Okay, so let me start with this. You know, we get money from the federal government on abandoned mine lands, and we've got projects today that we're going to be able to announce and give to you. I've got Secretary Austin Caperton's with me, and we'll be announcing the first of many projects across the state to share millions in grant funding for economic development of abandoned mine lands. The grant funding provided by the federal government, blah, 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 and OSM and all that and everything. And basically, we have a committee representative from the Department of Commerce, from the Department of Transportation, and DEP. And they make a recommendation. And then the ultimate, I guess, decider is OSMRE, and they give final approval of these projects, but hopefully they'll take the recommendations of our good people. And so the economic development projects must be located on adjacent adjacent to mine lands that ceased operations prior to the signing of the Surface Mine Control and Reclamation Act in August of 1977. So anyway, I've got, I think, two, and this is really neat, okay? This one is super dear to my heart from the standpoint that it is the restoration of wildlife. It's a restoration of our elk program that we have going on in Logan County, and it's to construct a visitor center near the elk viewing platform, and it's $1.55 million. You know, the restoration program is just starting. It's only a couple years into its infancy, and I can tell you this, that probably, I don't know, it's been 3 or 4 days ago, but my son, you know, has one of his mining operations in Pike County, Kentucky. And he was telling me, he said, "Dad, you wouldn't believe it, but I saw an elk the other day right on our, you know, surface mine job." And he was motioning to the front of the vehicle. He said its antlers were wider than the front of the vehicle. And so I guess the long and short of what he's saying is this, you know, is here's Jay, and he's a hunter, but not an unbelievable hunter from the standpoint of that, but he was so impressed by what he saw, and hunters would naturally be so impressed. But not only that, the people that just love to see nature, you know, and hunters do as well, but people that don't have a hunting interest whatsoever can be attracted to our elk viewing stations and to see an animal that is just magnificent beyond belief, that once walked the hills of West Virginia and the mountains of West Virginia and is now being brought back. And so it's neat. It's really good stuff. So I don't know who I'm awarding this to or who I'm giving this to, but somebody's got to help me with this. Okay, now one of y'all is going to have to read, because I can't read here. I can't see it. So Austin, if you'll do this and I'll stand up and you'll do the rest of it, that'd be really good. No, I've done that.
Yes,
I just want to have someone read all the fine print on that.
Certificate of Grant Selection, State of West Virginia, DEP, Abandoned Minelands Economic Development Grant awarded to the West Virginia DNR, has been approved for $1.55 million to construct an elk viewing platform and visitor center in Logan County.
Okay, very good. No, thank y'all so much. Let's do this. Let's let y'all hold that like that and get our picture made, okay? Hold her up, hold it straight now. And don't, all right. Very good. Okay. Okay, well, while I'm up here, I've got $1.5 million to the Ivy Branch Off-Road Park, Phase 2 project in Boone and Lincoln counties, which is the construction of cabins, master planning, and the development of a river access site on the Little Coal River. So those people would come, it'd be great. Now you take over from here.
Yes, sir.
We got this down pat.
Yes, we do. Somebody else can take my place after this one.
Okay.
But first, you can't say enough good things about the work that the Hatfield-Mccoy Trail does in southern West Virginia, Jeff.
Amen.
It's amazing. Certificate of Grant Selection, State of West Virginia to DEP, Abandoned Minelands Economic Development Grant, Hatfield-Mccoy Trails, has been approved for $1.5 million to construct lodging and river access on the Little Coal River. And this is a follow-up to last year's grant, which allowed them to purchase the property to develop this year. Congratulations.
Very good. Okay, guys, if y'all just hold that, I'm going to put my arm. Okay, congratulations. Way to go. Okay, I'm going to sit back down a second. Let me say something about the Hatfields and McCoy stuff. And for those of you that are in TV land or print land, let me just say that if you haven't been and you haven't seen the activity and the promise of how many people are involved, in this Hatfields and McCoy network, it's just unbelievable. You know, I've literally been on a dirt road in southern West Virginia and come around the curve thinking that I was the only one on the planet, and here comes 300 four-wheelers all together. 300 of them, you know, and most of them have 2 people on it. And overwhelmingly, the people that are there are all from out of state. All of them are. And they're bringing money, they're bringing dollars, and they're running all over the place. And, you know, praise the Lord, they're as safe as they are. I mean, they're having a blast and everything, and from time to time an accident, I guess, can happen, but I haven't heard of one in a good while. And so, you know, but it's amazing. It is totally amazing. You know, there's every sector of our population, you know, from the super doctors to just people that are just down home good people that are having fun, and you know, it's just it's amazing. It's really amazing. But now let me give away some transportation grants, and Tom Smith's going to have to help me here a little bit, but these are the Transportation Alternatives and Recreational Trails Program grants. The West Virginia Transportation Alternatives Program is administered by the West Virginia Department of Transportation and funded by the Federal Highway Administration, and these grants are primarily for sidewalks and improved, lighting and rails and trails. Okay? Thomas? The town of Hamlin, the sidewalk connector to the Lincoln County High School, if they'll come. If they're around. If they're not around, Tom's still going to read.
I will read this. The Hamlin Sidewalk Connector to the Lincoln County High School, sponsored by the town of Hamlin, fiscal year 2018, has been approved for $100,000 in federal funds for this project pursuant to the FAST Act, and Governor Justice has signed this award.
Very good. Okay, the next one is the City of St. Albans. And I haven't seen Scott James, but I'll get after him big time if he's not here. But the St. Albans C Street project.
Okay, in this case, it's a transportation alternative project, St. Albans C Street project, sponsored by the City of St. Albans, fiscal year 2018, has been approved for $160,000 in federal funds for the construction phase of the project pursuant to the FAST Act, and Governor Justice has signed the award here.
Okay. Next one is the town of Gilbert in Mingo County. Gilbert Sidewalk Enhancements, Phase 2 construction.
Again, the Transportation Alternatives, Gilbert Sidewalk Enhancements, Phase 2 construction, sponsored by the town of Gilbert, fiscal year 2018, has been approved for $643,000 in federal funds for the construction phase of the project. And again, Governor Justice has approved this.
That's great. That's great stuff. Great stuff. So again, let me pass accolades to all the delegates, and all the senators that are here, and all the hard work that our secretaries and people in our office and everything have done to make all these happen. But we've got 4 more grants totaling $550,000. And these are primarily centered around the Hatfield-Mccoy trails. The money will be utilized to construct approximately, get this, 100 miles of new trail for the Hatfield-Mccoy trail system in Boone County, and to purchase equipment for the upkeep and maintenance of the trails in Boone, Lincoln, and Wayne counties. Now, I kind of got ahead of myself just a second ago. But in 2017, get this now, this is amazing. In 2017, there were 45,297 riders on the Hatfield and McCoy trail system. This year, they are up 10.8% and are projected to exceed 50,000 permits this year, and 85% of the riders are non-residents. So, good stuff. And Tom, I want you to come back up and I'll let you read.
All right, and I think we have recipients here. This first one is Recreational Trails Program, equipment for the Wayne County Trail System. Hatfield-Mccoy Regional Recreation Authority has been approved for $120,000 in federal funds for the project pursuant to the FAST Act, and Governor Justice has approved this.
Okay. I'm going to let y'all, I'll let you, someone hold. It's, okay.
You all stay put.
Y'all just stay right here. I'm not going to stand until we're done.
Recreational Trails Program, construction of the Boone County Trail System, sponsored by the Hatfield-Mccoy Regional Recreation Authority. Fiscal year 2018 has been approved for $120,000 in federal funds for the project pursuant to the FAST Act.
Okay, you can't have them all.
And a third one, this is for maintenance equipment for Boone and Wayne counties, sponsored by the Hatfield-Mccoy Regional Recreation Authority. Fiscal year 2018 has been approved for $80,000 in federal funds for the project pursuant to the FAST Act.
Okay. We're going to give one to you, long lost buddy over there.
And one last one. This is also for equipment for the Lincoln County Trail System, sponsored by the Hatfield-Mccoy Regional Recreational Authority. Fiscal year 2018 has been approved for $120,000 in federal funds.
Okay, now I get a hold of this one. Okay, now let's look good here. Okay, very good. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for all you do. Okay, the last thing I have here, other than your questions, is an update on Hobet. And I'm going to tell you that currently Rock Creek supports 6 varying types of functions and businesses designed to support training activities for active guard, active duty, reserve, and National Guard troops. In total, the current economic impact of activities at Rock Creek totals 25 full-time jobs, equaling $3 million in support of 20,000 training days for more than 5,000 customers. Now, I'm terrible at reading because, you know, I believe you don't need a governor that just reads to you stuff that somebody else writes. The Hobet site, you know, we thought has a tremendous possibility. That's all there is to it. You know, there were critics that said, if we don't watch out, we're going to build a highway to nowhere here, and it's going to cost an ungodly amount of money. There were other people that believed that without any question, you know, this is our next big coming of prosperity. Now, and then there was a general, not a big giant guy, but a general with a vision. A general really and truly with a big giant vision, you know. And all of a sudden, then you have the big giant guy that believes that we surely don't want to go away from the possibility of significant economic development there, and the general with the big giant vision of maybe a military component there that could really bring us real dollars. So now what you got is a merging together of the two ideas. Still all kinds of development possibility as we continue to grow within our state, and all kinds of economic development from the military. So I'm going to let the general come up and take it from there, and he'll give you a lot more updates and everything, but we have done anything but desert Hobet because it is worthy. It is a great idea. And so as we continue to grow, we'll need Hobet, and that area is going to really blossom. But go ahead, General.
As the governor said, he tasked the Guard to take a lead role in helping catalyze efforts at Hobet. Right now, I think it's important to point out that we operate on 4,000 acres of a total 12,000 acre site. So there's a lot more space out there for that other development that the governor's talking about that he wants us to help catalyze. So today what we're talking about, as the governor pointed out, is a couple of key things. One is the Guard's been tasked to expand its tire assembly facility that we do for the nation. And we have to put a second site in. So that second site will be going at the Hobet location in the machine shop that's up there on the site now. That'll employ 10 people, so that'll add to the 6 folks that are currently up there in our maintenance shop. Another really exciting piece to this that we want to announce today is as part of the reclamation process on the property that we're using, we have partnered with an organization called Spec Rescue International. It is one of the premier assets, not just in the United States, but in the world for training, search and rescue type training. And today we have with us Governor Larry Phillips from Spec Rescue International, and he's going to come up and just give us a brief overview of what they will be doing, not just at Hobet, but on the surface mine site down in Logan County at Camp Branch, and as our tunnel site as well, and the surface mine site there at the tunnel complex at the old Memorial Tunnel site. So Larry, if you could.
General, Governor.
Larry, you can go right there and talk and look real official.
Okay. All right. Thank you to the General and the Governor and the esteemed guests that are here today. I'm Larry Phillips. I'm one of the owners and directors of Spec Rescue International. Spec Rescue is a small business enterprise established in 1994, and as we've grown over the years, I believe we've become a pretty respected community member and a contractor for technical rescue, exercises, site building, and so forth around the nation and even internationally, where we work with various agencies and so forth. I believe that our benefit and our relationship and partnership with the state of West Virginia, with your vision, Governor, and certainly the generals, in the direction of first responder training and exercise support is going to yield huge dividends and effects to both the economically for the state of West Virginia, but also for the citizens, for the services that we'll provide and train through the military and through our civilian components and so forth to support, provide response, mitigation, training for disaster events and so forth and so on. Hobet lends itself to such a great opportunity out there because of its expanse and again because of your commitment and the generals to putting together a robust, varied, and widespread effort to do training not only for the military but for civilian authorities as well. And we intend to prosecute that as we proceed. Holly from National Guard has printed up some flyers. I'm not sure where they're going to be, Holly, but we'd like to distribute those to give you a little bit more detailed insight into what Spec Rescue does, what we support, and what we anticipate doing at the Hobet site. So we'll try to share those with you. And I believe we were going to entertain some sidebar conversations and questions afterwards. But the bottom line and in summary is we look to this relationship with West Virginia, the National Guard, as just a immense opportunity for the state, Spec Rescue, and literally the nation through the military and civilian authorities. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity to meet again, and certainly any questions and so forth afterwards, we'd love to field those for you and get into a little bit more detail of this. That's all.
And Governor, if I could, before I step aside, a couple of people in the back there, and I know the Governor's got a particular place in his heart for these guys and the team that they represent because they were part of the assets on the ground in 2016, rescuing West Virginians from those floodwaters. Lieutenant Colonel Wiley Hatfield, Sergeant First Class Mark Shrewsbury, and Staff Sergeant Adam Landers, and my civilian Chief of Staff, retired Colonel Joe Peel, have all been part of this effort and were part of that team that was on the ground in 2016 rescuing West Virginians from the floodwaters.
Can y'all come up here, please? Y'all come. Thank you, Jim. Thank y'all so much. You really and truly, y'all stand here in front of me. I'll stand behind you because y'all make me look a little better maybe. But these are heroes, real heroes, and they deserve to be thought of that way in every way. You know, nothing could be better than what these fellows have done. So God bless you in every way. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I'm done with updates. If y'all got any questions, I'll give it my best shot. And if I can't answer, we've got three great people right here beside me that will try as well. But, you know, it's a good day. good day when you can give money away and do things within our state. And, you know, we want it to just keep being good days. Now, we've had some incredible economic news in the last little bit, and we don't want to get spoiled. I mean, we really and truly, it would be awfully unlikely for us to maintain a pace of annual growth, you know, above 10%. So anyway, but nevertheless, we don't want to lose sight of how significant these dollars are. You know, when we talk about 1 month coming in at $54 million over expectations and everything, you know, that just kind of blows everybody away, and it almost lulls us to sleep a little bit to the fact that maybe a, you know, $1.5 million grant doesn't seem like that big a deal. But let me tell you this. You know, in all of my life, and I've managed to do this, you know, I had a really good friend, really good friend. And he didn't have a whole lot. This is probably as kind of good a compliment that I could have ever gotten in my life. He said to me, he said, you know, this was when we weren't very old. But he said to me, he said, you know, you don't have to make me feel good about the things that I have and the stuff that I'm doing within my life, but you always take time to do that, you know. And really and truly, we should never lose focus with how significant it is to be able to award or give $80,000 to upgrade equipment on the Hatfield-Mccoy's trail. I mean, when we lose sight of that, we're going to lose sight of the ball. And so anyway, I'm really proud to, you know, I am not ever going to lose sight of the significance, no matter what the amount is. If the amount is a lot bigger, it just happens that it's got some more zeros, but it's no more significant, you know. Anyway, if you got any questions, I'll give it my best.
Governor, your predecessor, of course, proposed a $100 million investment in Hobet, building an interchange there for a 6-lane highway in and out. Is that history? Is that not going to happen? What are we going to see instead? Is that workable within the state's needs?
I think what I said earlier, you know, was just this. If we didn't watch out, we were going to go spend a tremendous amount of monies, you know, on, and maybe, just maybe, we were going to end up not nearly as successful as the way we're going. But I truly believe the idea that Governor Tomlin had is worthy and good. And we don't want to walk away from that idea. Now we got to, you know, as we go forward, we always have to pivot and do what is the smart things to do. And today, every day that goes by, we're getting closer and closer and closer to significant things happening at Hobet. And I'm not giving you any political answer in any way. I guess what I'm basically saying is, I think it was worthy to pivot. I think that it's worthy to acknowledge that it was a good idea, and I'm a real believer in the whole project, And the whole project is still at play. And it's so close to Charleston. It's so close to us that it needs to be, you know, as we move forward, hopefully we're going to hit a home run there.
Well, I have you here with Secretary Smith. I do want to ask for a progress report and an update on the
Okay, well,
I-70
Secretary, okay.
I-70 project at Wheeling, where we are with the rebids on that, and when we might see some solution or resolution to that issue.
No, please.
Yeah, we have taken a
Come
look
closer to the mic, Secretary. Appreciate it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we're still trying to look at options, to look at what the best options are there. We're beginning to feel that One approach to this would be to use some of our existing consulting capacity to actually work those projects, to work the bridges. We're going to be removing some of the scope there. We think in changing that project from a design-build project to a design-bid-build project, where we do the plan, that we can actually take care of some of the risks that contractors bid into it. So we think if that's the way to go, that we can actually get that project probably back out on the street sometime next year. But we haven't finalized all the decision making. We need to sit down with the governor and work through some of the last minute details on that.
Governor, since last week talked to you, impeachment went into a complicated situation, and the court nullified aspects of the impeachment trials. Is it worth calling the House into a special session again, at least to do Justice Lawfrey's impeachment issue? Have you given that any thought yet?
Well, let me say this, Brad. I've thought a lot about it, you know, and the Justice Lawfrey thing is, you know, it's terribly unfortunate in many ways, especially unfortunate to the state of West Virginia. And I wish to goodness that Judge Lawfrey would just do what seems to be the right thing. Now, you know, I don't portray to know every little detail, but it just seems to me like the right thing is resignation and go on down the road. I mean, but nevertheless, I would caution all of us on this too. While it is monstrously important, unbelievably important, it's easy to get wrapped up in the drama, and we don't need to be wrapped up in the drama. We need to stay with what are the facts and what we should do. And from my standpoint, I want to stay with the facts, and the facts are just this. The House needs to do their job, and they will. And the Senate needs to do their job, and they will. You know, those people need to speak, and those people need to find direction without me imposing my wishes on them at this point in time. We're still, you know, we got thrown a curveball that no one really would have expected by the judges that came out with the ruling, you know, probably 10 days ago. So from that, you know, I think it would be horribly unfair for me to intervene prior to the House and the Senate not working through their situations. And that's what they need to do, and they will, because they're really good. They will. And so at the end of the day, what I hate about it more than anything is it puts a national eye on West Virginia that's not good. And that's why I say, you know, don't get me wrong, I don't begrudge in any way the reporting of what we're talking about. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying, I'm just cautioning all of us that if somebody comes running out of a building and says, you know, Judge Lawfrey has grown another foot and he has 3 feet, you know, it doesn't need to be all over the national news. You know, we need to stay with fact and reporting fact, because every day that this continues on, and it has embarrassed West Virginia and it hurt West Virginia, and every day it hurts us until it's over. The Senate and House will do their job. They will do a good job too.
Just to be clear, can they just call themselves back in session without your authority?
I think absolutely they can do that. But it's not been good. It's not good. Okay? Bless y'all. Thank you.